No worries. Except I can't see your icon. I don't know why. That is really weird. Where is it? Huh. Yeah, I know. It's very weird, and I can't see myself either. Can you see me? Huh. I don't know what's going on. That is really weird. I'm gonna go out and come back in and see if that changes anything, okay? There we go. Now I can see you and me. That was really weird. I don't know what's happening, but something is. Huh. I don't know. Anyway. Interesting. Whoops. Interesting. Oh, there we go. Okay. Some things were just happening weird on my end, so I was trying to figure out what was happening. I'm like, what is going on? Yowzas. I think I'm all back now, so we're good. We are good. Okay. So I think I'm ready to go today. Oh, boy, can you believe in less than a week our exams? That's just crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Mm-hmm. Oh, we got 1 minute. Always worries me when there's only one person here at 11:59 or 11:19. That's a little scary. But I guess I can just teach to you. I guess that's possible. It's kind of quaint, the two of us. What's the date today? The 7th? The 7th. Wow. These months just fly by. Fly on by, I swear. Oh, there's Mrs. Gray.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going all right.
Good. Hello, hello. There's Dustin. Oh, that one, no Dustin.
Hi.
I don't know, you just disappeared on my screen. You were there and now you're gone.
Oh,
But you're still there, huh?
yeah.
Okay. That is weird. I don't know what's going on with this thing. I'm playing with too many buttons and so. All right, will you guys put in the chat like a greeting of some sort? An emoji, a hey, how are ya? What's up? How you doing? Hope all of you guys are doing well. I hope. I was gonna start out the day with a Christmas song that we could all sing together. What do you think about that? Let's sing. What should we sing? Rudolph, Jingle Bells. I'm just having a little fun. Don't mind me. Okay. So I was joking around saying that we should be singing a Christmas tune or something. Let's all break out into a song, shall we? Okay. So, in case you came in a little bit late, I have people greeting me in the chat. So if you could just say something, emoji's fine if you're not feeling like typing, or just an HI is good. So let me give you the rundown for the week so that we have an idea of what's happening. So today we're going to continue on with our PowerPoints with our links for videos that kind of show the progression of pregnancy. And so hopefully we'll get through that. I'm hoping to get through it today, but who knows. I do have a hyperdoc that I'm going to assign that goes with it's kind of like reinforcing what you are learning right now. So kind of just going over some things. In the live stream on Classroom, I put 2 Quizlets. One is on prenatal development. Well, they're both on prenatal development, but one is basically just on the stages of pregnancy. And I thought that one would be good because if you guys just kind of flip through it a couple times a day, things will become cemented in your memory. And some of the tests that you're going to endure next week on the exam is information about what's going on with each of those trimesters. So I thought that would be helpful. And then the other one is more term-based, like talking about, like, let's say what conception is, what's the amniotic fluid, what's the placenta. Those are also things that could be on your exam, so just wanted to throw those in there. There are some terms that I haven't covered yet that are in the Quizlet. So if it doesn't sound like anything we've covered, then just skip over it, okay? So like something would be like recessive and dominant genetics, okay? We haven't talked about that. So, and then on Thursday, no, Wednesday, hello. Wednesday, we'll continue with the hyperdoc if we need more time on that, and maybe we'll, get through some more of our slides. So that's kind of what I have planned for the week. And then your exam is Wednesday the 16th. Okay, so just kind of have that in mind for what's up and coming. Okay, so just kind of an FYI. And we're going to start with the warm-up. So is there any questions about what we're doing this week and what's up and coming? Okay, and I'll try to kind of recap as I go through today, just in case some people came in kind of late and they're like, what the heck is Ms. Epka talking about? So, but let's start with our warm-up like we always do. So this is our last week for that. It ends on the 11th. So just make sure you've been following along and doing the warm-ups with us so that you can just turn those in on Wednesday when you get done with them. And then that's another assignment off your plate. You don't have to worry about it. You did it with us in class every time we met. Good to go. You got your caps, your ends, you got a complete sentence in there. So should be good. Again, I have to go off camera because my computer likes to go as slow as possible when my camera is on. So you don't get to see me anymore. Boo-hoo. I know you're all broken up over it. All right, so I was just waiting. Okay, here we go. Okay, so if you noticed, I kind of did the quarter to week 7 of 7 or 12-7, 12-11, which is this week. This is where you're going to find your work. I did move our stages of pregnancy table up here just because we're working on it, and I wanted you to be able to find it instead of having to, scroll and try to figure out where the heck the document was that we worked on the last time. So just so you know, it is there for you. We'll be going back to that today. I somehow screwed up the warm-ups where somehow I got a template in here. I don't know. So just discard that one, or don't worry about that one. I had to upload a different one just so that I could get everybody to see it, because I was told that the warm-ups were not able to be viewed. The ones we did last week, the ones we did the the week before that you could view them, but the new ones you couldn't. So I just added a new document there. I hope it's not confusing. It wasn't meant to be confusing, but I was just trying to fix an issue. So, all right. So your question, remember, is just the P question. What did you learn about morning sickness from reading the article? So just give me some basic information that you remember from that assignment, and then go ahead and put it in the warm up. Okay, just make sure you have your caps and ends and your complete sentences. If you do have that available, we're going to just kind of skim through it in the first 10 minutes of class. So if you did it and you have that available to be able to talk about it a little bit, that would be great. Okay, so here we go for the warm up in 3, 2, 1, start. You have about 1 minute to complete. Forty seconds. Twelve seconds. If you haven't put a greeting in the chat, please do so. That's kind of how I know you're here physically, but also mentally. That would be great. All right, so time is up. What I want to do is go and take a look at your morning sickness article. If you could pull that out, and we're just going to skim through a few of the answers. And I had it all up and ready, and somehow I deleted it. Go figure. Okay. So, Miss Gray, if you could just monitor the chat for me, if someone throws something in there, that'd be great. Otherwise, maybe Azaria, you could kind of look at that. Sometimes Miss Gray's busy, and that's perfectly a-okay.
No,
All right.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
All right. So, what is morning sickness? What did the article kind of say morning sickness was? Like, can you describe it to me, like what morning sickness would entail?
I said that it's like the feeling of nausea and vomiting during the first trimester of pregnancy.
Okay, good. And about 80% of pregnant women have at least some nauseous feelings, and 50% have both feelings of nauseousness and do vomit. So, it's with that kind of percentage, more than likely the majority of you will have it. Like I've told you before, I never experienced any of that during my pregnancy. And as the article reveals, there might be some reasons why. Okay. So what are some of the symptoms that someone might experience if they are feeling a morning sickness come on? What might happen? You know, what might happen? Hello. What do you think would happen if someone had morning sickness?
I mean, this is probably just from my thinking, but if you know that you had sex and you're having morning sickness, Ramsey, get off my computer. Sorry, my puppy just ran across my computer. Hey, go on the bed. And sorry, guys. So if I had morning sickness, if I was that person, then I would probably go to the doctor and get checked out and get a pregnancy test. Unless we already
what symptom did you have? Like what you had morning sickness, so what was the symptom that made you think, oh, I have morning sickness?
If it continues to happen, say every morning.
But what's your symptom?
I'm sorry, it's early. I tried.
What happened that what is your morning sickness symptom? Like what is it? Is it a headache? What is it? What is morning sickness? Okay, it's feelings of nauseousness, vomiting, and those would be like the two symptoms of what morning sickness would entail. So if I can piggyback off of Sylvia, she got sick a couple times in the morning, not her, but she's just saying, and that would indicate to her that maybe, if a person was sexually active, then that might be, I might need to go to the doctor, or I might need to go seek a pregnancy test. But, if you had, you went out to eat and, maybe the food that you ate was questionable, that could be why. Or, that's not morning sickness, that's food poisoning, or, you don't want to mix up the symptoms. Okay. Why is morning sickness called morning sickness? Where did it get its name?
Maybe because it usually happens in the morning.
Oh my God, you're brilliant. Yes, it's because it usually happens in the morning. And are there some women that do experience throughout the day and evening?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so even though it's called morning sickness, it does not restrict it from happening like during the day or in the evening or something like that. So it has been given, it's been coined morning sickness, but it doesn't have to be. Okay, so don't confuse that. Is it normal to have morning sickness for the entire pregnancy? Is it normal? What do you think? Yes, it's normal. No, it's not. Should I expect? Go ahead.
I won't say normal, but then again, not all women have it.
Okay, so it's not real common to have it after the first trimester. However, there are some women that do experience it. Okay, I know someone that's experienced it, and I can't say that they're gonna look at a pregnancy as something wonderful because they were sick the entire time that they were pregnant. So that's not really, it's not exciting or a feeling of I'm pregnant. Woo, yes. They might dread their next pregnancy, but it doesn't also have to linger into the next pregnancy. It could. Okay, but every pregnancy is different. That's what you need to know. And so it may not follow into the next one, but you never know. Okay. What are some of the things that they talked about cause that type of nauseous feeling? What were some of the things that they mentioned in the article that they felt could have caused this nauseous and vomiting feeling during pregnancy? Do you remember what some of the things they mentioned?
Increased sense of smell.
Yeah, so they have. Yeah, so our senses are heightened, and so I don't know if you guys saw this in the middle school, but there was a movie called The Miracle of Life, and in the video there was a couple that they basically interviewed, and they went through the whole movie kind of following them, but she would get nauseous by eating certain foods and if she smelled them. So just a smell could set her off. I know somebody that like toothpaste made them kind of sick. Or a specific smell can cause feelings of nauseousness or even vomiting. If you have a sensitive stomach, some people just have a more sensitive system. And so that could increase the likelihood of having morning sickness. Genetics, ask your mom, did you experience a morning sickness? How long did it last? And also a lot of it has to do with all the hormones. I mean, your body is like, all the hormones are going crazy because they're trying to help with the development of the baby. They're trying to help you as the mom. So there's a lot of hormones that are going on in there. And sometimes that alone can be the cause of morning sickness. Let's see. Will morning sickness affect the baby? What do you think about that one?
No.
Okay. So it won't affect the baby as long as, it's the first trimester and things get under control. But if you become dehydrated, you don't have a balance of nutrients, that could be an issue and cause some problems. Okay. So there's only 3% of women that might experience something like that. So it's not real common, but it is something that might be somewhat concerning if a female is not gaining weight, is becoming dehydrated, and is not getting the nutrients that her body needs for the development of this new being. Let's see. Is there medicine for morning sickness?
Yes.
Yes. There actually is medication out there that has been proven safe and effective, so you don't have to suffer in silence. When you're pregnant, you would reach out to your doctor and you would let them know what you're experiencing and how it's affecting your life. They may, offer some holistic type of relief, like maybe, avoid certain foods or don't spray this type of smell in your house if that causes it, or maybe some people will say saltine crackers or a fizzy beverage. And then they might be like, okay, so none of the remedies are working, so maybe we need to, try some medication or something like that. Okay. So that was kind of the article that we read about morning sickness. If you have yet to turn it in, you can still do so for 80%. I would encourage you to do so. It wasn't that hard of an assignment. All you had to do was do a side-by-side screen, and as you read through the article, answer the questions. Okay. All right. So I'm now gonna go into the Quizlets, and I mentioned this in the beginning. I don't know how many of you were here at that time, but again, if you're just joining us, put like a greeting of some sort in the chat so I know that you're here. And then I mentioned that for the exam, your tests for pregnancy, at least the part where we talk about the trimesters and the prenatal, that is going to be on your test. And I'm going to push through the new 9 weeks coming up after Christmas, and I'm going to still continue with the parenting class, even though, it kind of goes from parenting to family relations. And I'll just end where I think is a good ending point, and then we'll start into the family relations. But because we're virtual, I haven't been able to get through everything that I need to. And so I wanted to be able to get to a certain point, because then I'm just leaving you high and dry and you're like, okay, so we got to the 3rd month. What then, So it's unusual. It's just the way the year is going to be. So we're just going to have to roll with it. Anywho, so what I was telling everyone when they came in is that I put some Quizlets on the Google Stream, and I thought those would be helpful for studying for at least the new information that we have been given. And so I put that on there. Some of the terms we haven't covered yet, so just kind of bypass the ones that we haven't had an opportunity to kind of talk about. But I'm just going to go through one, and then we'll do another one together, kind of looking at it as far as like what it entails. Okay. So let me go to.
Hey, Miss Sepka,
Yeah.
be Tanner,
Go
by
ahead.
the way.
What's up?
I got a question.
Yeah.
What about our read at month of at a time student notes?
Okay, so there's two things. There's one that we did that was like a note, like a bunch of terms and stuff, and that was in week 6, and it was called pregnancy and birth guided notes, and I already collected that. And then the one that we're still working on are the stages of pregnancy, which were like a table, and we were just entering a couple things in for each trimester for baby and mother. Does that ring a bell?
Huh?
Okay, so we'll get there. Let me just continue on with what I was talking about, and then when we get to this section, I will be more specific, okay? All right. So if we look at the terminology, and I want to say, I can't remember which one it was. I want to say it was this one, but I could be wrong. Let me look here. Okay, this isn't the one I wanted. All right, hold on. It was the other one I wanted to show you first. Okay, so this one basically just goes through the months, and I tried to shuffle it and it doesn't shuffle well, so that's why I'm just showing it to you because I think it's good for you to kind of use this as a study tool. But like it'll say the heart begins to beat, and that's the first month, and then small bump indicates the beginning of arms and legs, and again that's the first month. So it's just kind of going over the things
Oh, wait,
each
I got
month.
it.
Okay. And this is just a good study tool to have for your exam. Okay. So this isn't the one I'm going to go over with you today, but it is in the live stream. And I think it would be a good study tool for you to have just to kind of go over it and over it and over it, just to kind of reinforce every day what each trimester and each month by month happens during to the baby. Okay. This is the one that I want to practice with you today and see what you can tell me about it. Okay. See if you can answer the questions. All right. Let's see. All right. So this one, like for example, there's some pictures here and it says week 2 through 8, placenta, internal organs, and external body structures form. And that's the embryonic stage. Okay. And what do you call it when you have a placenta, the internal organs, and the external body structure forms? That one is what happens during the embryonic stage. Okay, so week 8 to birth, what is that called? When you start timing, let's say at week 8 and you go till birth, what is that stage of pregnancy called? Do you guys know? Any guesses? No guesses out there?
Nope.
Okay, that's the fetal stage. Okay, that's when we can start calling it a fetus instead of an embryo. Okay, what is this? Do you remember from the video? It's another
egg.
term for fertilization or the union of egg and sperm. Do you remember?
The egg where the sperm turns into a baby.
Okay, but what is the word? Do you remember?
No.
Conception, when the egg and sperm meet. Okay, what do you call a single cell created by a union of egg and sperm? These are in your notes, so you can always recap. But that's called a zygote. Okay, the stage in between the development of the ovum and the fetus, between 2nd and 8th week of pregnancy. What do we call that? I kind of told you already. Do you remember what I said?
Zygote.
Nope, close.
Uh,
An embryo. Okay, it refers to as this when the development of the embryo reaches 8 weeks. What is this called? It's now called a what? Fetus. Okay, what is it called when there's an attachment of a blastocyst in the inner wall of the uterus? Okay, so here's the blastocyst kind of traveling down, and it's going to attach. Implantation. Okay, what do you call the membrane containing an embryo, fetus, and the amniotic fluid? So what surrounds the baby? What surrounds it? What is this? Nobody knows? Amniotic sac. Okay, what's the fluid called? What's this fluid called that's around the baby?
I think it's called the bubble.
Nope. I'm kind of pointing at it sort of on the slide, if you can make out my pointer.
Prokaryotic.
Amniotic fluid.
Oh.
Okay, the organ through which the fetus receives nutrients and oxygen from its mother. This right here, what is this called? It's showing it outside of the baby because the baby obviously was born, but what is it called? Starts with a P. PL.
Placenta.
Placenta. Okay. Okay, the cord that connects the fetus to the placenta, it grows to the length of about 20 inches, delivers nutrient and oxygen from the placenta. What is it?
The umbilical cord.
Yeah, good job. Okay, the period of time from when the egg is fertilized until the baby is born. What do we call that? Gestation. Okay, a 3-month period during pregnancy, 3 stages of pregnancy are broken down into 3 trimesters. So you have the first trimester is months 1, 2, 3, second trimester 4, 5, 6, and then the third trimester 7, 8, 9. Call that trimesters. Steps that an expected mother can take to provide for her health and the health of her baby. Do you remember what we called that? It's pre-what? Pre-what? Steps that an unexpected mother can take to provide for her health and the health of her baby. Pre-something care. Pre-blank care.
Prenatal care.
Prenatal care. Thank you. Okay, these are ones that we haven't covered yet, and that's okay. I'm just going to try to get to, you should know, not that one. Let me get past these here. Okay, what do you call it when the sperm and egg meet? We already did this one, sort of. Starts with a C. C-O-N. Conception. Female reproductive cell. Ovum. Male reproductive cell. How do men reproduce? What do they produce that creates another human?
Is it sperm?
Yes, thank you. Okay, we haven't done this one. I think, let me see here. I think the rest, what is it called when you feel little flutters of the fetus? Do you remember what we called that? I did go over this. It has to do with a storm, but it starts with an L. Oh shoot, I was thinking lightning. Sorry, quickening. Lightning, something totally different. I don't think we did this one. That's called lightning. Okay. Anyway, the rest of these we will cover, but we just are going to run out of time. But it's still good to have something to look at to study. So we studied 37 terms or thereabouts, so that's pretty good. All right. So this is what I was talking about with Tanner. So what you want to do is go into Google Classroom, and this one, I'm just opening what we have turned in already. So these notes right here, we have completed, and we turned them in already, okay? And if you didn't get them, you just have to watch the recording, and we go through each one, and we give the terms and different things about them, okay? So that one we already turned in. The one that we're still working on is this one, and it looks like a table, and we got up, I believe, to month 3, I believe. Okay, so this is where we are right now, and this is where I need you to go and get the information so we can continue to add to it. All right, Tanner, does that make sense?
Okay, yeah.
So you just need to open that document. I'll show you again.
I already
right
did.
here. Okay, and then we're going to add to that, okay?
Okay, I was just asking if you still remember about that.
Yep, I do. Thank you for reminding me.
No problem.
I do need help every once in a while, you know.
All
Miss
right.
Sepka needs lots of help. Okay, so we're gonna start off where we left off here. Okay, hold on one second. Okay, so we left off. This thing will respond to me. Oh, there we go. Okay. We left off, I believe, at the 3rd trimester, where I gave you that assignment for morning sickness. Okay. So we watched the little video links 1 to 9 weeks, boy, girl, and then we had this morning sickness article we read. Okay. So we're going to continue on with our next slide. All right. So make sure you have your document open if you're just coming in and you weren't here last week. In Google Classroom, there should be an assignment that should be in week 7. It's a table that we're filling out. You need to start on the 3rd month because you'll have to get the information from the recording last week. Any questions before we start here? Okay. All right. So in the 3rd trimester, for the fetus alone, it is going to be about 1 inches long. Nostrils, mouth, lips, teeth, buds, and eyelids form. And remember, you guys can do shorthand too. You could just put lips and teeth. You could put 1 inch. You know, you don't have to have all that other jargon in there, as long as it still makes sense to you.
Ms. Zepka,
Yes.
what is the document called for our notes on this?
Oh, it should be in the 7th week.
Okay.
And it should say, it should be the only one in there, really. I don't know exactly what it says. It should say stages of pregnancy table.
Yeah, I found it.
Okay. You got it?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. Let me get back here. Okay. All right. So, and then all organs are present but immature. Eyelids are fused. Buds for all. 20 baby teeth up here. Of course, they're buds. They're not, full-blown teeth. I will show you the link once I get done with the effects of the mother, and that's just going to show you from the point of pregnancy all the way up to the 1st trimester, so you can kind of see the development. But continuing on with the mother's breasts are going to be firmer, fuller, and they're going to ache. She may be experiencing nauseousness, fatigue, frequent urination. The abdomen becomes large, and the uterus is about the size of an orange, and it's about 2 to 4, pounds. Okay, for weight gain for the mother. So every time you go to the doctor, like we've talked about, they're going to weigh you. And, at this early stage, you're going to just go once a month, and they're going to weigh you and measure you and check all the, your vitals and things like that. Okay. All right. And remember, too, it's not crucial that you get every detail down, but I would focus on the things that are more specific, like 1 inch, like I would say something like facial features are starting, fingers and toes are complete, or just put fingers and toes develop. You can always abbreviate, just make it user friendly for you. Because you don't need every detail down, but you do have to have a portion of what's written. Okay, so let me see if I can open up the trimester so you can see. It's not a video, and I'm wondering if you can see it since it's not a video. So can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, I was just checking. All right, so this is what the pregnancy looks like at 2 weeks. Okay, so remember, it's kind of at that blastocyst stage. Here it is again. So, it's kind of going into the uterus lining and developing. Here's at 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so that's the first trimester. And, even at 13 weeks, it looks pretty much like a baby. Okay, when you get back here, this at 7 weeks doesn't necessarily look like a human. It looks more like any mammal at that stage of development. Okay.
Humans are not mammals.
All right. Okay. So we're going to go back to our slideshow. But I just wanted to show that to you because I think it's kind of cool. All right. Whoop. All right. Now I have the video between 10 and 14 weeks. So we're going to go to that and watch what it does during that time. Okay. Let me try to line it up. All right. So I need to do a little switcheroo. So just hang tight. I got a switchy. Okay. And remember, it's going to start out shaky at first, but it gets better. Just got to bear with it. And I'll try to full screen it. I don't know if it does full screen or not. All right, here we go. Oh, yeah, it does.
At 10 weeks and barely the size of a kumquat, your baby is entering the fetal stage of development. His facial features are defined, and his tooth buds are forming. Over the next weeks, his tissues and organs will rapidly grow and mature. The webbing is gone between his fingers and toes, and his nails and fingerprints are developing. Your baby can open and close his fists and curl his toes. Thanks to his developing muscles and reflexes, he's now moving his limbs and kicking up a storm. If this is your first baby, though, you likely won't feel his flutters until 18 to 20 weeks. Through translucent skin, his vital organs are visible and functioning, including his growing brain, nervous system, intestines, and liver, which is making red blood cells in place of the disappearing yolk sac. The umbilical cord is working hard now. One vein delivers oxygen and nutrient-rich blood to your baby. 2 arteries then carry the blood away. Around week 12, the kidneys have begun producing urine, which your baby will soon start excreting into the amniotic fluid. He'll swallow the fluid and the process will begin again. By week 14, your baby's eyes and ears have moved into place, and he can squint, frown, and grimace. You're now beginning the second trimester of pregnancy, which many women say is when they feel their best.
Okay. All right. So going back, somehow, there we go. All right. So now we're into the 4th month, second trimester. So this is where, like, for me personally, I kind of felt a sigh of relief because I'm not presenting, am I? Always forget to switch back. Sorry.
Yep. Once the video gets over with, it just turns it off.
I know it. It's just not helpful that way. Anyway, what I was saying was, during the first trimester, I was kind of uptight and worried about whether or not the pregnancy was going to, kind of hold itself because I was worried about miscarriage and thing. And so, every time you go to the bathroom, you're worried about seeing blood or something like that. It's just kind of an unnervy feeling in the first trimester just because for me, I was, really wanting this pregnancy and I was excited about what was to come. And I didn't want anything to get in the way of that. So when I was in the second trimester, I kind of just was like, oh my gosh, I feel so relieved that, even though I could still miscarriage and I knew that the odds were less likely that that was going to happen. And so I was able to kind of relax a little bit more. And then, it starts getting exciting because when you go to the doctor, you can start hearing the heartbeat. You have an ultrasound in the second trimester, so you get to see the sex or at least get to see the baby. You're starting to enjoy the feelings that the baby is moving around in there and you're able to, experience that. So I would say the second trimester is just kind of like new experiences and a sigh of relief that everything seems like it's going to be okay. So the size of the baby is about 3 inches long. It weighs about 1 ounce. It can suck its thumb, swallow, hiccup, and move. Facial features are more clear. My kids always had the hiccups really bad. And so the best way I can describe it to you is if you've ever had a twitch, like my eye twitches sometimes, or sometimes I'll exercise and I'll be done exercising and like a muscle will twitch or something like that. And it's just annoying, it's just this part of your body that's moving and you're like, why is that happening? Anyway, and so I would say hiccups are kind of like that, where they're in your abdomen. It's kind of like a twitch going on. And, it might happen once. It could happen a bunch of times during your pregnancy. For me personally, it happened all the time. And so, I could take my clothes and, put them, kind of cinch them really kind of tight. And you could actually see my abdomen moving because of the hiccuping that was going on. So it was kind of funny. But, when it's happened the 10th time, it gets a little old. You're like, why is my abdomen continually fluttering? And so, but it's exciting because, your baby's okay and everything's fine. And, hiccuping is a good thing. So, but it was a little irritating at times when I was trying to teach or something like that. Another thing that you'll experience as you get bigger and bigger is your breathing is more difficult. So when I would teach, I wouldn't be able to say as much because my breath would be lost a lot quicker because, I have all this baby pressing up on me and it causes me to be a little winded at times. So it was kind of fun teaching when I had, stop a bunch of times to breathe and then and then talk. So, and I talk fast anyway, so that would probably have been a funny sight to see, or at least hear, I guess. Okay, back to this. Mother, continue size change. So you're starting to get bigger. Things are not fitting as well. You might become a little bit more discomfort, possibly. Increased appetite and ultrasound to determine the gender is typically scheduled between the 17th and 20th week of pregnancy. Okay, and so when that is scheduled, what they're going to do is go in and kind of measure everything to make sure that the baby is progressing normally and it's healthy. Okay, so we're going to look at a 3D ultrasound, and then we're also going to watch the 15 to 20 week video. So I'm going to try to pull both up so I don't have to go back and undo my screen a bunch of times. All right, back to the screen switch. Here we go. Hold on. Here we go. Okay, let's watch the 3D ultrasound first. we gotta watch Grammarly.
Grammarly does
Yeah,
more
I'll
than
send it up
catch
Grammarly.
errors.
Just wait till Grammarly is over. All right, then it should be better.
Some parents opt to get a 3D ultrasound of their developing baby as a keepsake. A 3D ultrasound is different from a traditional 2D ultrasound because it more vividly shows the shapes and contours of your baby. Seeing a 3D ultrasound of your developing baby can be an exciting experience. But before you decide to have one done, here are a few things to consider. Doctors rarely use 3D ultrasound for medical purposes, and insurance won't cover a non-medical procedure. You'll need to find a commercial facility to perform the ultrasound and pay for it out of pocket. It is important to note that while there is currently no evidence that ultrasounds harm developing babies, experts caution against having them unnecessarily. Commercial 3D ultrasounds should not be used in lieu of getting standard prenatal care from your doctor. The best time to get a 3D ultrasound is when you're about 26 weeks pregnant. If you go in too early, your baby may not be big enough. You'll mostly see his skeleton. If you go in too late, your baby's head might be hidden down in your pelvis. If your baby's facing the wrong way, or there's not enough fluid around him, you won't see much. The scan operator might lightly jiggle your belly, have you go for a walk, or ask you to drink something cold or sweet to try to get your baby to change positions. If you don't get the image you were hoping to see, you may have to come back another day. Ask the facility ahead of time if they charge for a second try. If the image on the screen looks odd, it doesn't mean your baby has a physical problem. Even if everything looks perfect, the technician isn't medically qualified to confirm whether your baby is healthy. If you have questions about your baby's health, be sure to ask your doctor.
Isn't that cool?
Wow.
You can really see the baby in there, can't you?
It's like not only is it 3D, it's like an X-ray.
Yeah, the one that's like the X-ray is the ultrasound, not the 3D one, but the 3D, you can actually, I mean, it looks like a normal baby, at least, with skin and things, but when you have the ultrasound that they typically give, you only are going to see the skeleton of the baby, so.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you get what I mean. You
Yeah,
literally
I
saw
gotcha.
the rest.
Yeah. All right, so this one is the weeks 15 through 20, so you can kind of see where the baby is along its development. Again, it's going to be choppy at first. It'll correct itself the best it can, okay? Oh, we got to listen to another ad, so.
Oh,
Bear
boy.
with the ad. It's 15 seconds long, so.
Wake me up when that ad's done.
Here you go.
Oh, okay, I'm up.
Are we supposed to be seeing the video right now?
Oh, yeah, you're not?
Yeah,
No, I
nothing's
don't-
happening.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, my
Indeed.
goodness. Are you
How could this
Did you
happen?
forget to put your thing again?
okay, here, let me try this again. Okay. Scratch that. Let me go back. Thank you. I think that was Azaria. All right, let's try this again, people.
Between
Sorry.
15 and 20 weeks, your
Tanner, can you hear
There
it?
you go.
double in
Yeah.
size.
Okay.
As his
Sorry.
body grows, his nervous system is rapidly maturing. His nerves are connecting his brain to the rest of his body, traveling from the brain through the brainstem and down the spine, and beginning to extend into his torso and limbs. Your baby's skeleton is changing too. The soft cartilage is starting to harden into bone. This happens first in the arms and legs. Sensory development is picking up speed. Your baby's brain is designating special areas for smell, taste, hearing, vision, and touch. At this stage, your baby may be able to hear your heartbeat and voice. So read aloud or sing a happy tune. Your baby may even be sucking his thumb now. At about 18 weeks, you'll start to experience one of the most exciting parts of pregnancy, feeling your baby's movements. His flexing arms and legs may feel like gentle flutters at first. They'll become even stronger and more frequent in the weeks ahead. At 20 weeks, your baby weighs a little more than 10 ounces and measures about 10 inches from head to heel, about the length of a banana. This week is the big milestone, the halfway point in your pregnancy.
Okay. All right. So, what I want to do right now is we have about 5 minutes left. So I want to kind of show you what we're going to be doing, and you can start on this today if you want. I'm going to give you some time on Wednesday to work on it. But I know some of you are busy and you're like, I just soon get started on it and then either, use the rest of the class time on Wednesday to complete it. But I'm going to show it to you now, okay? So you can start working on it. It's not going to be due until Friday. So don't panic because it's, you got a ways before it's due. All right, so I'm going to open it up in Classroom and I'm going to assign it and I'm going to show you what it's about. But this way it'll kind of give you a head start. Okay, so it's called Baby in Progress, Pregnancy Hyperdoc. So let me show it to you before you go in and go crazy. All right. So what you do is you go in and it just says pregnancy or not. How can one know for sure? Provide at least 2 methods for confirming a pregnancy. You may use reliable internet resources if necessary, or you guys could just use your notes and put them there. Then it says, what are some common signs or symptoms that may help to confirm a pregnancy? Provide 3 signs. You may use reliable internet sources if necessary, or just use your notes. And then you have a KWL. So it says complete the KWL chart, which is down here. And it's going to be on fertilization. So you can click on the image if you want to watch the video. But what do you know? What do you want to know? And what did you learn by watching the video? Okay, it's the same one we watched in class. And then you can click on the blue heart to learn more about pregnancy and find out the information about how many weeks make up a typical for full-term pregnancy. So this will tell you. And then how many months make up a typical full-term pregnancy. So one asks about weeks, the other one asks about months. How many trimesters make up a typical pregnancy, and how are trimesters divided by weeks and months? And then on this one, you're going to click on this image and it's going to give you a time lapse of pregnancy. So it's going to start like with someone that just found out they're pregnant, and then it's going to do a time lapse where they're going to be just about giving birth and then have the baby. And what you'll do is describe some of the physical changes that you noticed. Okay. And then you go to the next thing and you're going to fill out this worksheet that I will put in Google Classroom. It says, During the pregnancy, prenatal changes occur with both mother and baby, and you're going to use the month-by-month resource to help you complete the What Month Am I assignment. And that's going to be right next to this. It'll be right in the same document. And then you're going to submit your completed HyperDoc along with What Month Am I to Google Classroom. And then the very last thing you're going to do is just watch this video about what are the stages of pregnancy and then answer these questions about it. Okay. But you have up until Friday. I'm going to give you time in class on Wednesday. But like I said, I know exams are coming up. I know some of you are really busy and you just as soon get started on it. So that's why I'm opening it up now. Okay. But it's not due until Friday. And like I said, I will give you class time to work on it. I'm going to go and grab that worksheet that I didn't attach that I have to. But you don't need that until you get to that section. So, okay. So do you guys have any questions for me before I cut you out?
I do.
Go ahead.
Why?
Because we're in school and this
I
is
mean,
what
why
we're
is
doing.
it so long? Why are there so many stuff to click on? Why is it so hard?
Doesn't have to be, Tanner. You are very efficient and you do a great job at what you do.
Yep, I'll never get this done till Friday.
Well, I'm going to give you have today's Monday and you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'll give you some class time. And then Thursday, Friday, and then it's due. There will be plenty of time. Just do 2 things today, 2 things tomorrow, and then 2 things when we meet, and you'll be almost done with it. So don't just take it in little chunks at a time. That's all you got to do.
I'm gonna need to do more than 2 if I'm gonna get this done.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think 2 is all you're going to need, bud. All right. So
I won't even have help tomorrow.
You guys have any questions? The wrong one in there. Okay. All right. So if you don't have questions, then just put, either bye or an emoji or something in the chat so I know you're all here physically, mentally. And then you have a great day and we'll see you on Wednesday.
See ya.
Bye. Hmm. Let's see.